Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of Hearts of Iron 4 with the mighty Total War mod and our kind of historical campaign with the United Kingdom. So at the end of the last episode, the filthy spaghetti eaters empire declared war on me, and history should have taught the Italians that whoever declared war against the British Empire never ended well. And well, the Italians did learn the lesson the hard way, because as soon as war broke out, the combined forces of Berny Monty First Army Group, comprising the 1st Infantry Army and the 2nd Motorized Army, simply smashed through the Italian defenses in their puppet state of Italian East Africa. And while also, I must say, with the help of the French, those few French who yet did not give up in the war, the combined Allied armies managed to take all the ports, surround the Italians, push them in a corner, and then finally annihilate them. I was particularly excited at that time of the war, because I realized that the gigantic East African pocket crippled the Italian army at least in Africa, Eastern Africa, with the irreplaceable loss of 536,000 men. I was like, holy crap. Yet the Axis armies tried to advance into Egypt, but my faithful and loyal Egyptian troops managed to hold the line at El Alamein. And because the line was holding at El Alamein, I was like, I want to try to launch my first Battle of El Alamein. And holy moly, the first Battle of El Alamein was a complete success. I cannot say that everything went according to the plans, because the Italians' line just collapsed like really like an ice cream in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and everything happened so quickly. Everything was crumbling. The British forces were advancing into Italian Libya, in Tripolitania, and in Cyrenaica, and then I reached the gates of Tripolitania, and then I realized, oh my god, I'm almost taking Tobruk, and then the inevitable happened. Just like in real life, British forces during Operation Compass were hampered by the long distance from their bases. So this happened in Hearts of Iron 4. And believe me guys, I would never ever forgive this to myself. I forgot to build a freaking railway line from El Alamein along the Egyptian border. There were no ports. The only, let's say, the closest port was the port of Tobruk, which of course was being used and defended by the Italians. And all my attempts to take Tobruk in the, let's say, autumn of 1940, they failed miserably and shamefully. So I said, okay, let's start to build up a port. And at some point I even panicked when I saw the Axis launching a counterattack, and I must say, only the support of the Egyptian army prevented the collapse of the British lines. Also because had the Italians managed to break through my lines, I would have lost the entire 2nd Army, which was still holding the line and fighting in southern Tripolitania. And I was like, okay, I saw that the Axis let's say the Axis reorganized its lines. So I did manage to push a little bit towards Tobruk, but still I failed to take control of the port. And one reason of why I also failed to do that was because I forgot to send the Royal Navy in the Mediterranean. Yeah, the Italians were shipping in supplies and food and everything that they needed, while, yeah, for free. My navy was not doing anything, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. Luckily, let's say I managed to find a way to overcome this, and with the expansion of my supply bases and depots and railways, I launched my second big offensive in the spring of 1941, right after the Axis offensive. But still, once again, all of my efforts were frustrated. This time by the rapid intervention of German troops, especially German panzers. I was like, oh, damn! Here they come, the filthy crowds. And yeah, I had to once again try to hold the line, especially again in Tripoli, let's say in the Sirte Gulf between El Agheila and Benghazi. My troops were repelled, pushed back again, and I said, okay, it's time to expand again the depots, build new railways, and so on and so forth. I kind of panicked when I saw the Axis pushing into the lines of the Second Army, but then a coordinated counterattack repelled the German divisions and pushed them back to where they came from. And when, as always, when the depots were built, supplies kept flowing into my troops again, and my troops could be remoralized again. Yeah, I think because they could drink the 5 p.m. tea, that I think they were really missing quite hard from the lack of supplies. And when was it? I think, yeah, was in the summer of 1941 that I finally managed to take control of the port of Tobruk. I don't know what happened, but when Tobruk fell, then all of a sudden the entire Italian lines in Cyrenaica simply collapsed. And with the collapse of the Italian armies in Cyrenaica, I just gained a tremendous numerical and qualitative superiority in the entire North African theater. And no matter how many troops the Italians managed to ferry to Tripoli, it was all in vain. The superior and let's say superior troops and faster, more agile divisions of the British Second Army managed to outflank the Italian defenders in Cyrenaica and even pushed into the Italian-occupied French Tunisia. And with the loss of Tobruk, there was just no hope for the remaining Italian forces to be evacuated. And once again, just like it had happened in the Italian East Africa, the Italian army was completely wiped out from the North African theater. And with the success in North Africa, I pulled back my troops in England in preparation for something else that will maybe come in the next episode. And with the collapse of the Italian army in North Africa, I think it's time for me to end this episode here. And therefore, well, as always, thank you very much, guys, for the support for the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And well, stay tuned. I wish you all the best, and yeah, we'll see you again, hopefully, very, very soon.